Hello. So today I want to tell you why I left Quicken and instead went to Mint. Uh, when I was deciding to leave Quicken, I looked up a lot of websites and videos and whatnot, and I found that people who had posted YouTube videos about their experiences moving from Quicken to Mint were very helpful to me in making my decision and weighing the pros and cons of going to Mint. So I thought I would do the same, and hopefully, if you're thinking of moving to Mint or leaving Quicken, you will find this information valuable. So, a little about me and my history with Quicken. I have been a long-time Quicken user. At least I consider 15 plus years of using Quicken quite long. And I use Quicken as my source of truth for all my investment and bank accounts and net worth. So I wanted a one place, one-stop shop to get all my financial information and gauge my financial health. So that's my primary usage for Quicken. Okay, I wanted the ability to organize and query and categorize my spending and see where my money was going and where it was coming from and how my investments were doing, as well as using some basic budgeting tools, just so I would have an idea year over year, where I could cut some spending, save some money, and whatnot. I wanted basic reporting, so that, just reports again. Where's my money going? Where's it coming from? Where am I spending money in various categories? And most importantly of all, though, I wanted something that was automated. So I didn't want to spend a lot of time entering transactions into registers, because if that's all I wanted, I could get my financial picture and categories and budgeting tools and whatnot. I could get that all with a spreadsheet. So what I wanted, though, out of Quicken was something that would be more automated, more automatic. So I really wanted the automatic web transactions so that it would just query my accounts and automatically import the transactions into Quicken. And then I could go and tweak the categories and whatnot and make sure that it was all correct. I wasn't writing any checks, so I wasn't doing any check writing. I also wasn't managing any business finances. So this was all just personal bank accounts. So just think checking accounts, some investment accounts, uh, things like that. So over the last few years, Quicken has my satisfaction with Quicken has degraded. Now, there have just been some accounts that I've never been able to hook up for Web Connect downloads. I would just always have to go to their website, look at my history, and enter it in manually into Quicken. For whatever reason, Quicken just didn't have support for certain banks and financial institutions. And that was no problem. It was kind of a small number of accounts, and I didn't mind, going in. Other accounts, while Quicken wouldn't automatically download them and update them, I could at least download them in that Quicken format that would then automatically enter them into Quicken. So it was kind of three levels of accounts. Some would just I would update Quicken and the transactions would update automatically. Some I had to go out to the website, download them, but they would then get imported into Quicken and that would be fine. And then other ones I had to manually enter. And that was the reality of Quicken, and I was fine with that. However, over time, I noticed that I was still doing a lot of manual entry and validation. That the web connected accounts, it helped, but I was still spending a lot of time sort of manually managing the accounts and making sure that they were all updated. And then most recently, and this was the straw that broke the camel back and why I started investigating an alternative to Quicken, is that certain like financial institutions that had always worked with Web Connect were no longer connecting correctly. And I would go and I would try to like reset the connection. I would try to delete the connection and establish a new one. All those little tricks that I had used throughout the years to reestablish a web connection, and they weren't working. And my Quicken says, oh, it's a problem with your bank, and the bank says, no, it's a problem with Quicken. And it was getting frustrating because the number of accounts that would automatically download transactions was getting smaller and smaller. Online balance in Quicken was also starting to grow out of sync. I would close the program, and my bank accounts and my online balances and my balance in Quicken, they would be correct. They would be the same. I would then open Quicken a few days later, and they were out of sync with my online balance and my Quicken balance. And it wasn't like, oh, I just didn't enter in some new transactions or newer transactions didn't update or whatever. It's like literally like, dates that were, as of, my balance as of the 31st of July would be one number one time, and then I would close and reopen Quicken some other time, and my balance as of July 31st would be different. So this isn't just a matter of me adding like new transactions. Like something was happening, and I found that if I repaired the data file, Quicken has like a validate and repair functionality. If I repaired it, then it would be synchronizing and it would be correct. And at first, it was like, every few months I would notice this discrepancy and I would repair the data file. But then it started becoming like almost like a weekly occurrence of my balance being in sync in one session of Quicken and then out of sync in another session, and this was happening weekly. And the interface, I think just in general, the world is moving away from installed Windows software, and we're utilizing services and phone apps and things like that. So the Android app for Quicken just was never very useful. It just kind of gave me a very basic summary, but not anywhere close to the information that I wanted out of my phone. And the Windows application, yeah, it is good and it's nice, but it is starting to show its age, being this big bloated Windows application, and it was just getting frustrating to I basically I'm losing trust in Quicken if I'm sitting here continuously needing to repair the data file to double check that my balances in Quicken are the same as the reality of what my accounts are online, and I just don't have the confidence in Quicken that I once had. It basically, the reason I got Quicken and wanted to use Quicken was to automate a lot of my finances, and it's no longer automating my finances. So I've just gone back to an expensive spreadsheet that kind of works, but I just don't have the confidence. So this is why I moved to Mint. I researched a few other ones. I forget their names, just some desktops, some other services. But I settled on Mint, and so far so good. Connects all my accounts, connects to all my accounts, and it downloads all my transactions and balances from online. So that's great. It connects to all my banks, connects to all my investment accounts, gets everything I need, and is fairly accurate. Is accurate in reporting my balances and transactions. So that is great. There's no needing to double check that my local data file is in sync with my balances. Just what I see in the app is what my balances are for those accounts, and that's great. It supports also, not only does it support like all my accounts, even the ones that I couldn't get hooked up in Quicken to like banks and investment accounts. It also connects and reports my balances uh, from some unique ones, I guess you say, like Coinbase, which is a cryptocurrency uh, account, and my mortgage lender. So that's really cool that I don't have to manually update those anymore. Or in Coinbase's account, I had to keep track of that separately outside of Quicken because Quicken wouldn't support it. So, and there's no application to install, at least on the desktop on the Windows side of things. I installed the Android app. The Android app is very functional. It's very nice that I can go into the Android app, uh, update, like recategorize things or add notes and whatnot, and that's going to be reflected in my account. So I can basically do all the normal maintenance and upkeep in the Android app on my phone, and not have to always be tethered to like a piece of Windows installed software. So, and again, there's nothing to synchronize. Like you don't have like a data file like you have with Quicken, where you're trying to reconcile what's in it versus what's online. Um, this is all online. It's all just directly querying your accounts and reporting what your transactions are from your accounts. So there's no synchronization between a data file that you store and keep and what's online. It supports categories and tags, just like Quicken. Has basic reporting, budgeting, and search functionality. This is the one area where I think Quicken is better. Like it just has more flexible reporting and budgeting tools. But that's okay. That's okay. Mint is owned by Intuit. Intuit is who owned Quicken before they sold it off. I'm convinced, and Mint is fairly young. It's only been around for a few years. I am convinced that Intuit will improve the reporting and budgeting and search capabilities over time. So basically, Mint is what Quicken promised to be. Okay, it is my source of truth for my financial health, and it's automatically connecting to all my accounts and displaying all my transactions and allowing me to categorize them, budget them, report on them. So I am fairly happy. It's not perfect. There are a few caveats or downsides. One, lots of ads. You get ads emailed to you. There's ads in the interface about credit card offers, mortgage offers, that type of stuff. Uh, so it's kind of annoying. It's not all terrible though, because some of these ads actually turn me on to services that I didn't know existed, and so it allows me to kind of look at other investment vehicles such as Masterworks, which is art investing, and Yield Street, which is alternative investments. So as annoying as like yet another credit card offer is, sometimes there are some diamonds in the rough. So you can just ignore them. Just ignore them. They're not so annoying that it completely destroys the user experience, but it's there. Uh, you know, I'm confident that the data, like the server warehouses, that Intuit owns, I'm pretty sure that those are safe. Um, but I'm always concerned about these services when they provide you a free service. How much of your personal information is being shared out to support that free service? So, I wonder, are these ads going to get a lot more targeted in the future based on my spending habits and whatnot? Or are they just, bundling up a whole lot, of user information and selling those off to third-party marketers. I don't know. I don't know. I think I should read the end user agreement a little bit more carefully about how uh, how they're treating my personal data. It's all web-based, which is great from convenience, as I said before, but there is that concern of what happens if Intuit decides to discontinue the service or they sell it to someone else and they make a lot of changes or they do it goes in a direction that I don't like. Now, what happens to all my account? What happens to all my data that I've spent so long categorizing and organizing and whatnot? Does it just vanish? And so I guess in that case, if I wanted to just be completely independent, I would have to go back to a spreadsheet. Good news is it looks like you can export the data out of Mint, so maybe I could have a spreadsheet as kind of like a backup, just export it to a CSV file and keep a spreadsheet just in the off chance that I ever need to sort of leave Mint. At least all the work and transaction categorization that I did won't go away. Not as much detail on reporting on investments and performance. Basically tells you your transactions, tells you what your account balance is, which is great, perfect for day-to-day use. But if you want like more detailed information on your transactions and your performance, the reporting tools aren't quite there yet in Mint. I found that, while I thought that I would be like looking at my performance and making like investment changes based on reporting from Quicken, I didn't really do it that often. So having detailed stock trading reports and whatnot, not as important as I thought they were going to be, and what Mint provides is just fine for me. And if I really need like detailed information, I could always just go to go to my broker websites and use their tools, which usually are a lot more, fully functional. Can't import my history into Quicken, so I'm essentially starting over. This was kind of unfortunate. I knew this going in that I wouldn't be able to import my history in Quicken. It's a little annoying getting emails like, "Hey, your account balance, good for you. Your account balance is up 5,000% because I was starting from zero, and so I was like adding new accounts and whatnot, and I'm getting like congratulated for like all the money that I'm making, but it's only because I was starting from scratch in Mint. Hopefully over time, these email reports that they send out about my spending or my income being above normal, that will start to kind of smooth out as it gets my history gets reestablished in Mint. Wish there was a way, and maybe there is a way, but I didn't find it to export everything out of Quicken and then import that all. But I don't mind. Actually, getting a fresh start is quite nice. Again, I don't 100% trust all my Quicken data anymore anyway, so it's good to just get a fresh start. So that's it. I can't think of anything else about Mint that's a downside. Like I said, it's reporting, budgeting tools, maybe not as refined as Quicken. But again, because Mint is owned by Intuit, who were the original authors of Quicken, I think Intuit will slowly introduce more functionality over time. So I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it, and I hope you find this useful about the pros and cons of going from Quicken to Mint. Thank you.